Hey guys, welcome to another Get to Know Your Artist series of the WOAFM99 Radio Show and Podcast. So what we do on this show is give you a bit of a lowdown on special stuff that's happening, okay, with WOA just before the radio show is out. So you can sort of get to know, you see highlights of in conversation artists who join me, for interviews and stuff like that, or we announce special stuff that fans have been waiting for. For example, today, I'm going to reveal the artists that have made it onto our independent number one's Breakthrough Artist album. Now, this is an album which is released once every 2 years, I think, two and a half years. It's like the flagship album from WOA Entertainment Group, okay, from WOA International, which is the label section. So today I'm going to announce the artist. The album will be released in May, okay, sometime in May. It'll be up for pre-orders very soon, like in a week or so. Pre-orders, pre-saves, and then you can download it, I think end of May, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll give you more news about that. I'll talk more about this in length on the radio show, which is out tonight. It was delayed. The radio show was delayed because I don't know if you guys have been watching the news or following international news, but Portugal, Spain, and parts of France was completely off-grid. So I think it was a cyber attack. They are adamant to say that it's not a cyber attack. I don't know. But all the lights were off, electricity was gone, water was almost over, but then it's come back now. Internet was off, mobile service, phones were off, like offline, everything was offline, off-grid. And the entire town where I was looked like a ghost town. And you couldn't use cards, you had to use cash for petrol. There was no petrol actually, but if you want to buy propane gas and stuff like that, you had to use cash because you couldn't use cards. It was amazing, to tell you the fact. I just had a great time, to be fair. I just got off everything, no internet, no nothing, and I finally got back to reading because I am also a big and avid Audible listener, right? So I listen to a lot of audiobooks now, because I sort of multitask, do other stuff while I'm listening to a book. But it was so good to get back to reading and the comics and, non-fiction, all that kind of stuff. But I had a great time, I'll tell you. But it was a scary situation, thinking, what are we going to do if this goes on for more than a day? And people thought it was going to be a week, at least. But thankfully, the lights were back on in a day, I think it was. But yeah, so because of that, the radio show got delayed, the video show got delayed, a lot of stuff got delayed, okay? But yeah, we're back on now, so the radio show is going out tonight, and this is the Get to Know Your Artist series. So I'll give you a lowdown on the artists that are going to be on the radio show tonight. We have a few artists, WOA acts, who are going to be featured on our WOA TV show, Season 7, which comes out in a few weeks actually. So some of these artists I'm going to be putting on the radio show tonight are not necessarily with their music video songs. There could be other songs as well. Some would be music video songs that are going to be featured on the WOA TV show. So those are the ones those are the acts we're going to sort of promote today on the WOAFM99 Radio Show tonight. And also a few new acts that we've discovered, and we'd like you to listen to them. But before I introduce to you the Certified Indie Songs of the Week that are coming up tonight so that you can tune in and enjoy the show, I'm going to announce, finally, the artists that have made it onto our Breakthrough Artist album, the independent number one's Breakthrough Artist album. This is, by the way, the second edition of the Breakthrough Artist album. So we kick off, this is in no particular order, okay? This is just acts that are going to be on the album. There are just 10 artists that are going to be on this album. So it's Joseph Pagano, the WOA artist for many years, and we've chosen him for the Breakthrough Artist album. Joseph Pagano's music is more sort of retro rock, blues rock, that kind of stuff. Really cool. He's very he does a lot of experimentation. He's not scared to experiment with stuff, which is what I personally like, when an artist does that. And it is sort of the advantage of being an independent artist. Take chances. You can experiment with stuff. You don't have a label telling you what to do, which is great. Then we've got Mac Daddy Review, brand new single from them also on the Breakthrough Artist. By the way, all the songs on this album are brand new tracks that you won't hear until the Breakthrough Artist album is out, okay? So stick around, it's going to be amazing. Mac Daddy Review, so they're a soul blues is what I call them. They call themselves soul rock and stuff, and I like to call them soul blues. Very cool sound, It's sort of like a mix of old school and modern, and they've sort of got both sections represented, and it's sort of a brand new sound that they've got, and it sort of feels familiar. At the same time, it's quite different, which is what I really like about Baghdadi Ruby. So I'm not going to tell you the names of the songs because that's going to be out soon on a press release, and then you can read all about that. Okay. Then we have Robert Ball, also calls himself Bobby Ball, but Robert Ball came to our attention with the last album that was out, the independent number ones, I believe, and beautiful song. He writes great music, works with great musicians and stuff like that, so you can hear the quality in his songs. I quite like it. So Robert Ball's going to be on it, kind of like it's got that nostalgic feeling, his music, you know. It's not necessarily country, it's not necessarily American, it's almost like retro rock from Britain, you know, it's that kind of feel. So Robert Ball. Then we've got Scott McPherson, who is a sound engineer, actually. He's a recording engineer in Nashville, Tennessee. But he writes his songs, he writes music as well, and great quality. He's sort of on the cusp of country and Americana, you know, right in the middle there, which is some of my favorite music, is that kind of stuff. I mean, I love hardcore country, and I like Americana, but I prefer Americana that's almost on the verge of being country, you know, and that's Scott McPherson's music. Then we've got Terry Dark, who is, you know, from the UK, and his music is very retro hard rock, okay? It could be classic rock, you could call it classic rock as well. But yeah, Terry Dark, I like his stuff. I mean, it's great guitar stuff, and keeping the old guard still there. He keeps the old guard alive, you know, that kind of stuff. I quite like it. So Terry Dark's going to be on the Breakthrough Artist album. Then one of my favorite sort of jazz, not hardcore jazz, but like smooth jazz artists, and it's Yngwie Thor Cormackson, who is an artist who we feature a lot on various compilations. So he was on our recent Go Watch Chill Out Zone Volume 14, and that album hit number one on Amazon, UK, iTunes, all of that kind of stuff, bestseller list. And Yngwie's song was the number one song on that album. And he works with a lot of different musicians and singers and things like that. So he's got different styles of music coming out with different names, you know. So this one, this new song that's gonna be on this album, on the Breakthrough Artist album, is by his musical act called Latin Faculty. Okay, I quite like Latin Faculty. I mean, the stuff he does with them, it's got that Latin jazz feel, you know. And his other stuff is more, you know, smooth jazz, regular jazz stuff that he does, which is very cool. Which is on the Go Chill Out Zone. You can check it out. But the song on this one will be by Latin Faculty. Then we've got Ulrich Benson, the blues duo from Seattle. Now, Ulrich Benson, they do a lot of world music, a lot of rock songs, and I have sort of convinced them a little bit, you know, to concentrate on blues, because they really do produce good blues stuff, and that came full circle when their blues single, which was featured on my Independent Blues Project album that I produced. And I even produced the song by Ulrich Benson that was on that album, and it hit the top 10 on the Billboard Blues album charts. You know, how cool was that? So, you know, so they were like, yeah, blues is what we should do. And now they're releasing an amazing blues album, which I'm very looking forward to. And it's a blues song that's going to be on the Breakthrough Artist album as well. And then we've got Juice the Black Beethoven. Now, Juice is very Motown, and at the same time, very sort of old school rock and roll, you know, that kind of stuff. But he's a pianist, he's a songwriter, composer, and I'm very happy to announce that I'm producing a brand new single for Juice. It's called Pounds, okay? It's got a female singer coming in on that song, and it's got that sort of like Doobie Brothers with Motown feel. You know, that's what we're trying to go for. But at the same time, very, very modern break beats and things like that being added in. So I'm looking forward to this track by Juice the Black Beethoven. Now, I'm not going to tell you which song is going to be on the Breakthrough Artist album, but that was just me telling you about Juice. Juice has hit number one on the iTunes charts, and lots and lots of stuff happening with Juice. So really glad to have him on the Breakthrough Artist album. Then we've got Glenn Shane. Now, Glenn Shane is another independent artist who puts everything into his productions, okay? So when you listen to a Glenn Shane song, you can see that as an independent artist, he's really taking it serious, you know, like he brings in the best engineers, the best singers, the best musicians to play his song. So he'll write a great song, and then he'll get in the best people to bring it to life. And that's what I like about independent artists who do that, because it really keeps you proud. It makes you proud to be in the independent music scene, you know. So Glenn Chain, and then last but not least is Rice. Gerard Rice, who was a WA artist, just like Mike Daddy, who was on tour in the UK recently on the WA Summer Tour. Now Gerard's going to be on the Breakthrough Artist album, and there's one more artist that's going to be on this album that I'm not going to announce today, and that's going to be a surprise, a big act that's going to be on this album. So stick around. There's going to be a press release out very soon where that special artist is also going to be named. Okay, so that's it for the Breakthrough Artist album, and I hope you're happy. Or you're excited about the artists who have been selected for the Breakthrough Artist album. Now I'm going to get into our Certified Indie Songs of the Week that are going to appear on tonight's show. So these are the breakthrough artists from around the world that have been chosen for episode 13 of the WOAFM99 Radio Show, season 29, okay? By the way, season 30 is going to kick off real soon. We're still accepting priority and standard music submissions on WOAFM99.com or WOAentertainment.com/store, and you can send in music. We accept all genres for our radio show. Now you can submit for free as well. We've got free music submissions that you can do on Music Submit and Groover, and there are some other sites as well, Indie Music Bus, I think. So there are a lot of sites that accept free music submissions. However, if you do that, just keep in mind that we get thousands of submissions a day, and for us to go through all of that is very, very difficult to go through it for, say, season 30. So you might just be appearing on season 40. You never know. But if you really need to get on the show because you're releasing a new song, or you want added support and marketing and promotions, consider doing a standard music submission. It's a small fee that you pay for priority submissions, and even smaller fee for standard music submissions. But you do get a quick turnaround in terms of us going through your music. You know your music will go through your music within for priority submissions within 24 hours. And so we will go through your song. It's not that, you know, it's not a chance you'll take by doing like a free submission on one of those external sites. And you do bypass the line in terms of when you get on the radio show. So you could be on the radio show within a week or two. So which is kind of cool. You know, it's worth doing it to get all the amazing support we give artists on our radio show, which is free and goes to national radio stations around the world and public radio internationally. Okay, so do consider doing that. Right. So we got Conley Turley with Like in a Country Song. Now this is a country song, and he reminds me a lot of Tim McGraw. Okay, I love this track. Then we've got Nicole Fife, The Lamb, kind of like Americana feel. Then Baby Can I Hold You by Shar. Shar's a WA artist. I love her music. And she's a big Tracy Chapman fan. I'm a big Tracy Chapman fan, so we sort of connected on that. If you want to hear the interview that I did with Shar, you know, I invited her for a radio show, in conversation episode on WFM99, which we have once every couple of weeks. I invite an artist that I really like, and Shar is on that radio show, and you can see the highlights on my YouTube channel right here. And do consider subscribing to my channel and liking this video and clicking that notification bell, because when you do that, you know, you'll know exactly when Get to Know Your Artist series comes out, in conversation episodes, you get special highlights, all video stuff, right? Special highlights, then breakthrough artists, independent number ones. You know, we give you first preview on a lot of stuff, the artists appearing, songs, everything. So consider subscribing, okay? It'll really help the channel. So, Baby Can I Hold You? It's her Tracy Chapman cover that Shar has done. Another Tracy Chapman cover that Shar has done. Her last one was Give Me One Reason, which via WA doing the launch hit the charts in the UK, hit number 1 on the blues charts in Portugal on iTunes. So really cool stuff. So this one we're hoping does really well as well. It's one of my favorite Tracy Chapman songs, okay? Baby Can I Hold You? Then we've got another WA artist, Rice, with C'est La Vie. Now Rice is going to be featured on the WOA TV show, which comes out in a couple of weeks, okay? This is not the music video though, the song. This is just another song from his upcoming EP, releasing in June, and WOA is supporting this EP in a big way. We are the official media marketing team for him, for the album, so fingers crossed for Rice. I think it's gonna be one of his biggest albums. Now Rice has hit the official UK Top 100 album charts via my album, World Beat Project. I produced a song for him called Stars, and it was called Stars World Beat, and I put that on the album. He came in at number 82. The entire album came in at number 82 among the top 100 albums in the UK national charts, okay? With Taylor Swift and you name it, they were all there. So number 82 in top 100 across all genres. This is not iTunes, this is not Amazon, this is national UK charts, kind of like Billboard top 100. And then we reproduced the same song and made it a blues song, and I put it on the Independent Blues Project album, and with that album he hit number 10 on the Billboard Blues album charts. So this album is his next project after all that big stuff that's happened for him, and I'm really excited to see how his EP comes out. But this one, C'est la vie, is one of my favorite songs from his EP, and I'm going to play it today on the show. Then we've got Do, another WOA artist who's doing fantastic. He hit number 2 in Portugal on the alternative music charts. How cool is that, huh? And also the top 100 in the UK on the iTunes charts. But this is his brand new single called Eastern Shores, which is why I would recommend, I really hope that you guys would subscribe and like and follow the WOAFM99 Radio Show, wherever you get your podcasts, okay? So if you listen to it on Spotify or Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube Music on my channel, just subscribe and like the WFM99 show, because you get songs like Eastern Shore by Do, which is not playing on any other station. We get exclusive sort of airplay, we'll put it out first, and then it goes to other radio stations and stuff. So yeah, support the WFM99 radio show and podcast, and my channel as well, the YouTube channel, okay? Right, Eastern Shore, very acoustic song, very cool. He's doing really well with his acoustic tracks, I must say. After Do, we've got Kathy Varner, an old school WOA artist. She got on the Billboard jazz charts, and 3 jazz charts on Billboard with WOA support. We launched that album on WOA International, and yeah, top 10 on the jazz charts, jazz album charts, traditional jazz album charts, contemporary and jazz album charts overall. Number 9, number 10, number 15. That was the success she had with her Love Songs or something like that. It was called EP. It was an EP of jazz songs by Kathy Varner. And this is her new single, A Mélanger Le Sœur. Okay, so check it out. It's a music video also for this, which will be on the WTV show. But I don't know which video we're going to be putting on the WTV show. I'm quite sure it's not this one. It's going to be another track. Then we've got Seal and Hers, a beautiful duo from Germany. Seal and Hers, a girl and a guy. And they did really well with some of their music. They're going to be appearing on the Independent Number 1's Volume 15 album, releasing in June, so stick around for that. But this is their song called If You Lose. That's the name of the song. Very Seal and Her sound to this single, and the music video is great. I've watched the video already, and I think you guys are going to love it. So we're going to play that song tonight. After Seal and Hers, we've got Andrea Jean, a new artist that we found through one of our free submission sites. And it's called So I Sing a Song. Okay, very cool track. Then the Silvers, WOA artist, the Silvers, The Final Word. Now this is from the upcoming LP. Apparently, I've been saying that they're coming up with an EP, but they did write to WOA and say it's not an EP, it's an LP. So yeah, it's an LP. Somehow they think that EPs don't work in America, but I'm here to tell you guys, EPs work really well in America. In America, not the rest of the world, but in America. And I say that because a lot of my EPs have hit the Billboard charts, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 5, so EPs do really well. Okay, LPs are great for fans, they got a lot of songs, but EPs do extremely well when it comes to getting your music to more people, I think. Well, I know, actually. So yeah, The Final Word from the Silvers' new LP, which is coming out very soon. Then we've got PK Project, a new band that we've discovered called My Love First on Bass, in brackets First on Bass. Now this is kind of cool because it reminded me of Sade, right, the singer, but at the same time it also has old school hip hop to it. It's a really cool sound. So let me know what you think. Then we've got old school sort of rock and roll blues that I just love. This kind of songs that you can play in a pub, in a bike club or something, where all those bikers go. I'm a biker, so I go out there. And you hear a band playing this on stage and you're going to, yeah, I love these guys, so it's that kind of stuff. Rock and roll blues, very cool. We have a few artists like this on season 29, actually. We have Jake Gray, we have Stephen Drew, and now, of course, Tommy G, and their songs are kind of that style that I quite like, and I'm glad they're keeping it alive because this music will never die out. I can tell you that blues rock, rock and roll will always be in the limelight with everybody. I don't know anybody who doesn't like rock and roll and blues rock and stuff like that. Like, for example, my album, my EP, which is Devil Is Back, is an EP. And I had a couple of songs there, and one of them was proper old school rock and roll, blues rock and roll. It was called Yeah, Whatever, right? And it hit the Billboard Blues album charts, but it also sort of did really well on commercial radio, because they just loved the track. I mean, it's got modern, at the same time it's got the old school feel. And as independent artists, we can take the chance, and sometimes those chances pay off, right? So last but not least on today's radio show is John Williams with Change My Mind. Now this is so it's like a singer-songwriter song, right? Who writes great songs, but he may not necessarily be a producer or a engineer, but he writes a great song. So he'll have a place here where we can introduce his song to other to producers and engineers out there who want to work with artists like John Williams. And that's the end of the show today. I hope you enjoy it, and be sure to tune in tonight, right? It's going to be all these wonderful songs, and you can enjoy the music. And that's it for today. Hope you enjoy the show. Oliver Sean signing out. Ciao, guys.